for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jennifer Meckles in for Sam Shocker. We now have the full list of gas stations that HF Sinclair says got regular gas contaminated with diesel during a mix-up last week. This morning, state officials held a news conference offering an update on the situation. 9 News consumer reporter and consumer investigator Steve Steger has been on this story since the very beginning, since the problem happened last week. He joins us in the newsroom with the latest.
Jenny, the total number of gas stations across the metro area that we now know can actually say got this contaminated fuel last week is about 50. And the state and HF Sinclair are telling people who have damage to their vehicles to contact the gas station where you bought the fuel to process a claim. Quick recap of what happened. This happened on Wednesday afternoon at this HF Sinclair gas terminal in Henderson. State regulators tell us between Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, that terminal was putting unleaded fuel with diesel into tankers that made deliveries across the metro area and into Wyoming. It should impact anyone who got gas on Wednesday afternoon or all day on Thursday. Sinclair said that they notified their distributors of the problem around 8:30 Wednesday morning, and then the distributors should have alerted gas stations to tell them to stop selling that fuel. We have tracked this gas to stations under these brands: King Soopers, Safeway, Circle K, Costco, Sinclair, Gas Express, and Valero. I've gotten a lot of questions over the last few days about whether it's safe to fill up now, and the state says it is.
Very importantly, we have received word from Sinclair that all contaminated fuel has been recovered and returned to them, and new fuel is in place. So at this point, all indications, including our own investigations, have suggested that all fuel in the marketplace that you could buy at gas stations meets specifications.
So we have details on how to file a claim with the major retailers who have gotten back in touch with us, and that list of retailers under our big story on this on 9news.com. There you can also let us know if you were part of all this so that we can stay in touch with you and keep reporting about it, make sure everyone gets a fair shake through all of this. If you text the word gas to 303-871-1491, we will send you a link. I'm Steve Steger. Steve on your side, 9 News.
All right, Steve, thanks for leading the way on this coverage. We appreciate you. Coming up, police in Thornton now have multiple people in custody after a shooting and a chase that ended in one person's death. Police say officers responded about 4:30 this morning to an apartment complex on Huron Street, about a half-mile north of Thornton Parkway. A caller reported hearing gunshots, and police say they found a 35-year-old man in the building's hallway who'd been shot. They think he will survive his injuries. A witness gave police a description of a suspect vehicle. Officers then spotted that vehicle and followed it. The pursuit ended near West 56th Avenue and Federal. This after officers had to use a pit maneuver to stop the car. Police say 4 people were inside the car. 1 tried to run away, but they didn't get far. They were caught and arrested along with 2 others, but one of the men inside that car was already dead from gunshot wounds. Investigators are investigating what led up to the original shooting. Boulder police are looking for 2 men seen on video firing multiple shots into an apartment building. Nobody got hit, but the bullets went through windows and walls, some of them just above beds where children were sleeping. Police say this happened around 3:30 yesterday morning on 34th Street near Foothills Parkway in Valmont. Investigators do not believe it was random. If you know anything, give Boulder police a call. It is a beautiful day in Denver, blue skies, very few clouds out there today. Keely Chalmers joins us in studio. You've been in the backyard, you've been in the studio, talking all things Broncos forecast for Saturday and the possibility of snow next week.
Yeah, we're looking at the possibility of snow at the end of next week. Until then, yes, we are continuing this dry, mild trend, and those winds, they're going to be picking up tomorrow into Friday. So that fire danger, the threat for wildfire, also increasing. But what a gorgeous afternoon. We've got blue skies, decreasing clouds as we head into the afternoon, and those temperatures once again warmer than normal for this time of the year. We're at 52 degrees right now outside the 9 News studios, 50 in Central Park, DIA checking in at 51, 47 degrees in Centennial, and those temperatures again really quite warm across the plains, with those temperatures in the 40s, some low 50s, 38 degrees in Colorado Springs, and we're in the 30s, low 40s already up in the mountains. So we have got a high right around 55, 56 degrees. We'll reach that at 2 o'clock, and we'll be back down into the low 40s by tonight. So overnight lows, once again, it's going to be a chilly morning, but not nearly as chilly as we should be. Right now, again, 52. Winds are calm. Those winds are going to be picking up. Live radar, we're quiet. We did see some light snow earlier. That has wrapped up, moved out. As for the stock show, it is going to be beautiful stock show weather. 62 for high tomorrow, 45 on Friday. We have colder air moving in, and that will impact your forecast for Saturday for the Broncos game. A little bit chillier than we initially thought. We'll talk about that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
All right, Keely, thank you. The 2026 legislative session is now underway at the Colorado State Capitol. Here's a live look at the Senate floor. Nothing's happening yet. But the session officially started a little after 10 this morning. Lawmakers have a tough task in front of them this year. They're cutting nearly $1 billion from the state budget. Budget cuts will impact just about everything involving the legislature this year. According to our partners at Colorado Politics, the mayors of Denver, Aurora, and Colorado Springs all got together to send a letter to the governor, Democratic Governor Jared Polis, laying out what they would like to see addressed this session, a wish list, if you will. And one thing had to do with the defendant's competency. A 2024 law requires the courts to dismiss charges when a person is deemed incompetent to stand trial and likely never will be. Even without enough places for those people to get treatment, many have been released into the public. The mayor's letter to the governor also mentioned increasing penalties for some crimes like retail theft. They argue that right now small businesses absorb those losses from crimes because the penalties just aren't harsh enough to deter crime. And the letter also asks the state to take another look at the 2024 law designed to regulate artificial intelligence. Lawmakers have already pushed back the date that law was supposed to take effect until this upcoming June. You can stick with 9 News for details on these ideas, pieces of legislation, what's happening in first day of session. Check out that story coming up later today. President Trump says the federal government will stop making payments to so-called sanctuary cities and their states. Trump mentioned he believes sanctuary cities are protecting criminals at the expense of American citizens. He says the change would start February 1st. However, last year, a judge blocked the administration from denying funding to more than 30 cities that had policies limiting cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Democratic Congresswoman Brittany Pedersen of Colorado's 7th District is among many Dems trying to get Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem impeached. Pedersen says she joined the effort because, quote, Noem and President Trump have shown a shocking disregard for human life, the rule of law, and the Constitution. Representative Robin Kelly of Illinois filed the articles of impeachment against Noem after an ICE agent's deadly shooting of Renee Good in Minneapolis and Noem's defense of those actions. Here in Colorado, lawyers for Tina Peters are in court today. This afternoon, they will go before the Colorado Court of Appeals to argue why they believe the former Mesa County clerk should be freed from prison. She's 1 year into a 9-year sentence for election interference, has to serve about 1 more before she could be eligible for parole. President Trump has tried to pardon her, but since her conviction was on state charges, not federal charges, his pardon doesn't have any legal merit. Peters' team, though, plans to argue that Trump's pardon should have legal weight. We'll have someone in court to listen this afternoon. We'll bring you details on air and online in our afternoon newscasts.